This is Bindu's story. My story might be different from what you have heard so far. It is not as impressive or miraculous. It is just a simple story of having faith, embracing the present, and at the same time wishing for fulfillment. And most importantly, about seeing the magic beyond the mundane life. A few years ago, I had just finished my PhD, was doing my postdoc in Florida. Postdoc is like a residency you do after you get a PhD, where you train yourself for a real job. It is an important part of a career for every PhD holder, where you are fed a lot of humble pie, where they make you realize just how little you know after getting the highest degree available. Sometime in 2018, 1.5 years into the program, I went through a bad breakup. I was heartbroken. I cried day and night. I felt like there was no one made for me. All I kept thinking was that I needed to leave the city, but a starving postdoc needs a job to move. The next day, I saw a posting for a job in California. I applied for the job, and I heard back from them the same week, which is very rare in my line of work. I was convinced it was a sign, and God was taking care of me. The next week, I had a Zoom interview, and I was called in for an on-site interview. It went great, according to me. 2 weeks later, I got the letter that I did not get the job. The next morning, I went online and looked for a job opening, which at this point was my daily ritual. I then saw a job opening for Yuma, which had everything the California job had and a major bonus, where I get to have my own plant diagnostic lab. I went through the process of interviews and came to Yuma for my on-site final interview. They had me meet them for breakfast at 7 a.m. and made me talk until 3 p.m. If you know academia, you know that they never hire anyone on the day of the interview. It is more like go home and get anxious for 2 weeks, and we will send 3 out of the 4 finalists a rejection letter. But they gave me a verbal offer the same day. The rest is history. I came to Yuma. I love the job I have. I get to run a lab, visit the fields, help the growers, and teach little kids about plant diseases. More importantly, I met my husband here, who is my best friend. He also happens to be an amazing baker and singer. We have 2 gorgeous kids who behave really well about 93% of the time. I feel blessed every waking and sleeping hour. The bottom line is, there will be many days, months, or even years in your life where you feel like things are not going right. There will be times where you are questioning your faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in God, whatever your idea of faith is. And you might wonder why your prayers are not being answered. I was meant to be in Yuma, not in California. Always believe there is a bigger plan just for you, because some of God's greatest gifts are the unanswered prayers.